Hey, what's going on, guys? My name is Agent Psycho, and oh my gosh, I'm doing a commentary, an actual commentary about Combat Arms. It's 2012 all over again. No, seriously. I just wanted to take a few minutes to talk about the recent changes that Combat Arms has been going through as of the past year or so. Ever since I stopped playing it like pretty religiously or frequently, I should say. So, in case you guys aren't aware, if you guys have been out of the loop like I have for more or less the good part of this year, Combat Arms has been implementing a lot of changes that are now very user friendly or very friendly towards the player base now. Changes like that include I just saw UCD upload a video earlier today saying, GP permanent guns and 1/7/30-day rentals and stuff like that. Which, by the way, we had those at the beginning of the game, but Nexon being the dick move that dick guy, the dicks they are, removed that and said, "Oh, you can only buy things for 7 days now. Give us money, give us NX." But anyways, that's beyond the point. So yeah, things like that. How after the merge they did stuff like they did lots of giveaways, free guns, like free permanent guns, even I guess. Like I'm just sitting here watching all those things happen to Combat Arms. I'm just thinking like, wow. So where was that like 5 years ago? If you guys don't know, I've been playing Combat Arms, not so much lately or recently, but back in the day when it was still like, I've been playing this game since it came out in 2008. I was one of the original public beta testers. My friend Protagonist was an actual closed alpha tester, if you can believe that, or a closed beta. Yeah, closed beta tester. I don't think there was an alpha for this game. But when it came out for open public beta, I was actually part of it, and I was playing it since then, and I played it throughout its initial release and all the way through the years. Even when Combat Arms or Nexon turned the game into a fucking cash cow, I still played through that shit, and only now, within the last year or two, I've just kind of been tapering off and delving into other games, just not just Combat Arms, but yeah. In with my little history lesson in the background here, I'm just looking at these changes that Nexon or whoever the developers are for Combat Arms now are making to the game. I'm just like, yeah. So where were these changes a couple years ago when I was playing the game still? Like frequently and regularly, because back in those days, like I'm making this commentary partly because of a comment that I got from one of my videos, one of my Combat Arms live commentaries from someone who asked me, like, why did you spend $5,000 when the game gives you free guns? Like, why did you spend that much money if you clearly nowadays you don't have to spend that much money? And I told him, well, back in the day you weren't there clearly because I'm not the only one who's dropped $5,000 on Combat Arms back in the day. Don't get me wrong here, or don't get me wrong. That's probably a lot of money to drop on a video game. It is. Let's be real here. But to be fair, I was the only one who did that, and I told the guy, obviously you weren't around the days when Nexon never gave out free shit. Like, and if they ever did, it's like, well, it's a free 1 day GP standard gun, like that no one cares about. And that really sucks. So, like 1 day Remington VTR, is that what it was called? The 10-shot assault rifle that kind of looked like a battle rifle, but it sucked. Well, it didn't suck, but the fact that it was full auto and had 10 bullets made it pretty useless most of the time. But yeah, just random like small little trivial giveaways and shit like that, and daily missions that took fucking forever, and 5-shot roulette events that good luck trying to fill those things out because of fucking RNG. Like, all these things, like the Combat Arms I remember, or the Combat Arms that I remember, were, back in the days when it was 2008 to 2010, where it wasn't really a cash cow, where, the game was. But the days before the specialists came out is what I want to say, where it was all just pure gun skill. Character customization was there, but it was really only like, oh, do you have 10% speed or 10% armor? And that's about it. And people ran around. I mean, the G36 has always been around, but hey, at least that was the only OP thing back in the day that people like to complain about. But as time going on, Nexon started adding NX standard guns. NX rare guns, all this crazy bullshit that that just said, you know what? Fuck gun balance. We're tossing that out the window. Here, you can have a perfectly, a perfect damage sniper rifle that has perfect accuracy. I'm talking about the DSR Tactical, by the way. And I still remember to this day the day that it came out through supply drops or supply cases, not supply drops. I'm thinking of Call of Duty here. But yeah, it's in light of all these really bad memories about the game. Like all these changes that they're making to the game now are just little too late. Like to me, I honestly feel like whoever's making these changes, like whether it's Nexon making the corporate decision or the devs. Again, I don't know who the devs are for Combat Arms currently, but if it's the devs who are doing it, then actually regardless who's authorizing these changes here, it's just too late. I honestly feel like they're only doing this. Well, they're not only doing it for one reason. They're doing this for one of two reasons. The first reason could be that they're making these changes because they want to bring the old player base back. Because the old player base knows what the old Combat Arms was like, so maybe they're thinking by implementing these changes, they're gonna think to themselves, oh, the old players are gonna come back because this is a little bit more like what the old Combat Arms used to be like, which isn't the case because the new Combat Arms is I can't say nothing, but it's way too different from what it used to be. So it's not looking good there for that part. So that's not really a likely decision that they'll make, and if it is, they're all kind of dumb. The second choice, or the second option that I see them, using as, their primary reason to to put these changes through, is to basically be more, to invite in new players, not necessarily the old players. Maybe some of the old players may come back after they see these changes, but I'm thinking they're more targeting like new potential players who are getting into first-person shooter online gaming, and they're gonna see this game and be like, oh, free stuff. Oh, okay, I'll dabble in this game a little bit if the people making it, or the game's gonna give me free shit, right? And it's I don't want to say a perfectly logical business model, but if you want to bring in new players, one of the ways you can do it is to entice them, with free shit. That sometimes works. Sometimes do it beautifully, sometimes not so beautifully. And whether or not that's actually working, I actually don't know. But me, as an old Combat Arms player, like an old school Combat Arms player, looking at the game right now and seeing all these changes, I honestly feel like they're trying to keep this game alive, and they know it's dying. I mean, I've been saying like up to like two and a half years ago, way back when, I was saying, Combat is on the decline. It's not doing as well as it did before. That was during the days when a lot of the people that I met through Combat Arms and who played the game a lot started kind of, graduating from the game, let's say, and moving on to other games or just moving on with their lives and not playing the game as much anymore. Some people just quit the game entirely and went to other games, or just stopped playing, stop being online altogether. But yeah, it's I honestly feel like they're doing that for those reasons, like I said. And I don't want to say it's pathetic. I don't want to say it's anything, actually. I'm not even going to give an opinion. I'm just saying it's pretty interesting that Combat Arms has gotten to the point where it first started out as just a free-to-play shooter game that wasn't really a cash cow at first, and then became a cash cow for like the majority of its life cycle, and then now it's shedding some of that cash cow status and becoming just a regular game now. Or not a regular game, but one that's more monetarily friendly and doesn't force people to fucking bend over for Nexon's dick so they can get the NX. So yeah, it's just something that I want to get out there. Nothing really too opinionated, of course, because obviously what I'm saying is already controversial in itself. But I just felt like making this commentary after I saw UCD's earlier one talking about GP perm guns and one-day rentals and shit like that. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this quick commentary. I know it's not really quick; it's still 10 minutes, but compared to the one I had yesterday, when it was like what 50 fucking minutes, I think this is pretty good. So yeah, thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys later.